I'm Debra. I'm a sexual assault advocate, preventionist, and educator. This today is Sarah. She is in our domestic violence shelters. Welcome, Sarah.
Thank you so much for having me, Deb. So I am Sarah, and I am the manager of domestic violence services here at Tri-Valley Haven. And I'm happy to be in this podcast.
Great, thank you. Well, we are glad that you are here today. So Sarah, today we'd like to talk about teen violence and relationships.
Right.
Did you know that 1 in 3 teens have experienced domestic violence and intimate partner violence in their lifetime?
Yes.
Also, on an average, it takes a person up to 7 times to completely walk away and leave an unhealthy relationship.
Yes, sad, isn't it, that this is the way relationships have become nowadays, that it starts from teenage and graduates into even when you're in your adulthood, it continues. This is why we're here, right?
Yes.
To step in and make sure that we change these habits to inculcate healthy dating
Yes.
in our kids.
Yes.
Yeah.
Because I'm sure it does look different from when I was dating and you were dating.
Absolutely.
With the way things are. So first, Sarah, I'd like to begin with asking, what does teen dating violence look like to you?
Teen dating violence, like any kind of violence, could be physical, emotional, psychological, verbal, or sexual. Just like it is with adults, abusers use these different types of manipulations to try and assert authority or exert force on their partners. And sadly enough, it starts with our teenagers, and they use any of these forms to try and coerce the person to remain with them. They use manipulation. They use sexual, if you don't do this for me, then you don't care about me. Or if you don't come with me to so-and-so place, or if you don't share this drink with me, then you don't care about me. But you and I both know it's just ways to manipulate a person to remain in an unhealthy relationship.
Yes, very true, very true. So what are traits of a healthy relationship?
Traits of a healthy relationship is caring. It's understanding the person. It's being respectful of the person's space, of the person's body, of the person's beliefs. Healthy relationship means you don't impose your own beliefs, you don't impose what the other person doesn't want on them, and that you do everything in common because you care about each other.
Great. Yeah, so true, so true. Would you mind explaining a little bit more about the cycle of violence?
The cycle of violence, so it starts really sweet. That's why we call it the honeymoon phase.
Right.
People get together, they have they like each other. It starts really nice. I like you, you like me. Everything is cozy, and it's a honeymoon stage where everybody's on the same page. Everybody's seemingly respectful of the other person's needs. And then it turns to where the tension starts to build in a relationship, because one person wants to be the controlling person in the relationship. It's no longer a mutually beneficial relationship. Tension starts to build, and then from tension, then it explodes to what becomes violence. And sometimes it could be any of the ones we've mentioned before: emotional, physical, psychological, and physical.
Great.
And sexual, of course.
Yes, those are very key, very key. And would you mind explaining how domestic violence and intimate partner violence impacts individuals of every community?
Oh my God, yes. Domestic violence is a pandemic, I would say, in our society, particularly in communities of color, because it's kind of like taboo to talk about things that happen within your family. So even when the husband or the wife, whoever the abuser is dumping all these things on you, it's putting you down, it's talking down on you, it's withholding finances from you, withholding food. We've had all kinds of abuses where people are not even allowed to leave their homes because the controlling partner doesn't want them to do certain things. It impacts people in a way that culturally, and say where I come from, a Nigerian community, you don't talk about your family outside the home. you don't take this thing out there because it will be viewed as you disrespecting the culture, disrespecting the community. So you keep it in, and a person, it keeps building and building and building, and sometimes it just gets to an explosive state where someone does something quite tragic. It's led to people killing the other, unfortunately. But if we're able to spread information on how to stop domestic violence, then we're able to educate people on how to have healthy relationship, and hopefully we can curb some of these damages.
Yes, I agree, most definitely, Sarah. Well, you've touched on some key points, and we really appreciate you being here today.
Absolutely.
And sharing this with those in our community who are watching this. And so, Sarah, thanks again. And this wraps up another podcast of Healthy Habits with the Haven.
Thank you so much for having me. I hope we do more of this, spread the word to stop violence.
Yes.